all, I'm Professor Mason, so welcome to my course. Today we're going to talk about exactly how to kind of navigate your way through the course. I'm going to do screen sharing with you using the Screencast-O-Matic, which is a really awesome tool. I super suggest you guys use it on your own for future projects. But we're going to walk through the course shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a screen share with you guys to show you what it looks like when you guys go into our Blackboard course shell, which you should hopefully be in if you're watching this video. So when you come to the first page, this is what you should see. It's our announcements page. It will always be what pops up right away, first thing when you sign into the course. So just a little bit about me is up on this page. My degrees, kind of like things that I think that you need if you're having technical issues, to contact the help desk and the Blackboard Support Center, and then kind of like what you guys should be doing to get acquainted with the course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what the course looks like as we are moving through it and the parts of the course that you should really become acquainted with. So the first thing that I would suggest you guys do is go to, it already opens on the announcements page, is go to your syllabus. So the syllabus is in here as a Word document. You can click on it and it should open it for you in just a moment. And once it does, you can really scroll through it. It's a pretty hefty document. And so what's gonna, maybe it will open for me. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just like look through the syllabus really quick and see what exactly we can kind of glean from this and what you guys really need to know inside of the syllabus. So we're going to make it into read mode and we will see what we got going on here. Okay, so there we go. So things that you need to know. This is History 111, Section 2. This is the summer 2020 course. I don't know why it says 2019. I need to fix that. Boom. There we go. 2020 course. United States History and Constitution to 1877. So my contact information is here. It's an online course, so technically we don't have meeting times. We pretty much meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and you're expected to be turning in homework assignments every Friday from the start of the course until the course ends. And so just kind of know that those are the expectations. If you ever need to get a hold of me, there are two ways in which you can do that. You can also post on the discussion forum as well. I'm going to open up a board for students to kind of post general questions if they have questions, and you guys can feel free to respond to each other as well. But I always encourage students to email me at shannon.shoemaker@lincolnlandcommunitycollege.edu, so llcc.edu. And the reason it is shannon.shoemaker instead of Shannon Mason is because I got married about 4 years ago, and I had already started working for Lincoln Land when I got married, and so my email will forever be my maiden name. And so if you also want to get a hold of me, you can text me. But email is like the best way to get a hold of me, because a lot of times I'll see text messages and be like, oh, I'll respond in a little bit. And then I forget about them. But email is the best way. But if it's an absolute emergency, feel free to text me, okay? I do not answer the phone for like random phone calls. I just never do, because my phone's never on like audio. It's always on silent. And so if you do want to schedule a time to meet, I'll be more than happy to meet with you guys via Zoom or through Google Meets. Either one works for me. Or you can just chat like, you know, normal old school on the phone. So whatever you want to do. So I know that I've sent you guys out an email saying do not buy the textbook that the school has up on their site. All right. I just want to reiterate that. Do not buy the textbook that the school has up on their website. Okay. I have provided you guys a free version of a textbook that I helped work on this year. And I was given permission to do this by the authors to be able to share that textbook with you guys. It is a college level textbook. It has been transformed into an AP prep guide. And so we're going to be using a lot of those tools because that's a college level course. And so Don't buy the textbook from campus. I've uploaded all of the readings for you onto the course shell inside of Blackboard, which I will show you guys after we're done looking at the syllabus. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at here is what you need to know is you just need the textbook is going to be a download, okay, and we will look at that in a little bit. You're also going to have a lab and media components. Those are all from Norton, which is normally the textbook manufacturer that I use. They publish a textbook called America: A Narrative History, and that's the one that school sells. But the school is selling it for about $120, and you guys are paying full price for just online courses and have no access to anything on campus. And so I am trying to save you as much money as possible because I feel like that's unethical. Anyway, moving on. So our catalog description for this course is that it's part of a 2-semester sequence. The course surveys the political, social, economic development of the United States, typical stuff, all right? So we're going to be talking about class and social structure, colonial politics, economics, the cause and the effects of the American Revolution, the role of those kinds of things, and like the build up to constitution making and early political parties inside of the United States, the rise of Jacksonian American democracy, Southern slavery, Civil War, and Reconstruction. So the course ends with 1865. Although some people would argue that Reconstruction does not start until the end of the Civil War, that is actually not true. Reconstruction actually starts during the Civil War, and this class actually ends in 1877 because that is when Reconstruction has essentially failed by. And so that's kind of the basis of the course. It's worth 3 lecture hours, which means that however many hours you have of lecture a week, you're supposed to take that number and multiply it by 3, and that's how much time you should be spending on the course in general a week. So you guys should be spending about 9 hours on this course every week. Because this is a summer school class, however, you guys are on a little bit of an accelerated schedule, and so it's going to be a little bit more work crammed into smaller amounts of time, all right? We've crammed about 2 weeks of work into like a single week, the way that the summer school schedule works, because it's only about 7, 8-ish weeks of content. And so you guys are taking a 16-week semester, and we're squeezing it down into that 8-week period, but still need to get all the same things out of it. So we need to make sure that we're being really efficient, that you guys are on top of your homework assignments, your assessments are turned in on time, and we'll talk about the kind of schedule here in a minute. So the course is designed for you guys to complete totally online. Every single assignment, every single reading, every single announcement is going to be posted online in the Blackboard course shell. It's all going to be inside of your modules folder, the content folder, or the discussion folder. I will be posting announcements quite frequently with kind of reminders or just like little pieces of information just to check in, things like that, just because I feel like it feels more participatory if I'm there with you guys too. And then also I'll always be responding to your discussion board posts, and I try to respond to everything that you guys do within a day. In terms of homework assignments, I try to always make those available to you guys and just within a couple days after you send them to me. But if you're sending me work early, do not expect to get it until the assignment is due. So your student learning outcomes are kind of based just like in general, right? We have learning outcomes to identify major historical figures in pre-Columbian America. So we start real early: colonial America, Revolutionary America, the Jacksonian era, westward expansion, and the Civil War. Learning objective 2, interpret historical sources from the pre-Civil War American history, including letters, documents related to writing, and the adoption of the constitutional literature. We also have things like images and other kinds of like text bases that we can look at as well. Learning objective 3, analyze the impact of European colonization on the New World in terms of its impact on the native populations and the European colonists. Learning objective 4, discuss the origins, nature, and impact of the American Constitution and the evolution of American political culture during the Jacksonian era. Learning objective 5, explain the various factors that led to the American Civil War, including slavery and other sectional divides. So those are the kinds of big things that we're going to be working towards, all right? And so all of your assignments, your tests, your quizzes, your assessments, they're all going to be building towards that, fulfilling those learning objectives, all right? So in terms of exams, we do have 2 tests in this class, all right? We have a midterm and a final. Each of those is worth 120 points. That's 240 points altogether. When we get closer to the exams, I will give you guys like a step-by-step kind of like video discussion talking about the formatting, along with a review, exam review that you guys will get the week before the exam. All right. So you guys will have a week to be able to prep, study, practice, do whatever. All right. We also take quizzes. Students take 8 quizzes throughout this course. Essentially, they're called quizzes, but really they're just kind of like they're multiple choice questions inside of the modules. All right. So even though it says a quiz, you guys can use your books, you can use your notes, you can do whatever. There is a time limit, however. You only have 30 minutes to do your quizzes. Each quiz has 15 questions in it. And we'll take a look about what those look like in just a couple of minutes. So quizzes are worth 120 points over the equivalence of the term. All right. So assignments, you have readings. You need to be able to do your readings. While I don't necessarily grade your reading of the readings themselves, we do have assignments that are based on the readings. All right. So let's scroll. No, we'll stick with it. We'll stick with the order that I have here. So lab and media worksheets. You're going to be doing, in addition to readings every week, you're going to be doing lab and media worksheets every single module. Okay, there are 8 modules. And for every single period, which is how your textbook is organized, you are going to have a series of like kind of units inside of that period. They're called modules. So we have modules inside of modules. I'm going to call them mini mods, all right? So inside of each period, you have mini mods, all right? And each of these mini mods has a corresponding worksheet that goes with it for your reading worksheets, all right? And you're going to be turning those in, all right, before the due date, your lab worksheets and your reading worksheets before the due date of the entire module, all right? So modules 1 through 8, each of those has a due date. You need to make sure that all of your assignments, your media worksheets, your reading worksheets, your discussion posts, and your quizzes are all turned in before the end of that module date, because the assignments close after that date. And if you submit anything afterwards and it's late, I do not take late work. But you can always turn in work ahead of time early, okay? So always just try to make sure you're getting your work in early. Okay, so in addition to kind of answering just basic worksheets on like your readings, you're also going to be looking at primary sources, which is what these lab and media worksheets are about. So when you're looking at your primary sources, you're going to have 4 sources for each module, all right? And inside of each of those bigger modules, all right, you're going to have 1 assignment, okay, for these sources, all right? On that 1 assignment for your media worksheet, all right, there are 4 pages of content. You're going to fill out a page for each one of your 4 sources, okay? So you're going to be answering questions about all 4 sources, and it's going to be a combination of written and visual sources, okay? So you're also going to have every week, in addition to your quizzes, your reading worksheets, and your lab media worksheets, you're also going to have, number 4 every week, discussion posts, okay? And discussion posts are essentially going to be me being able to evaluate your higher level thinking skills, right? Your ability to identify, interpret, analyze, and discuss, okay? Those are going to be really, really essential. Inside of your responses, you need to make sure that you're writing a minimum of 8 sentences for short answers, and some of them are going to be longer, like kind of like a micro essay response where it's going to need to be multiple paragraphs, all right? And then after you respond, I will grade your response out of 15 points. You then need to respond to 3 of your other classmates for an additional 5 points, okay? And so that's kind of what you need to be doing. We do have a large project in this class. It's called the Instagram histogram assignment. And so you need to make sure that you're keeping up with that. All the details for that are going to be in Module 2. Attendance is tracked through your ability to like keep up with all the projects. You need to make sure that you have access to like any kind of electronic devices that you need. There's lots of lists inside of the module, inside of the course shell, so make sure that you know. Make sure you're not plagiarizing or cheating. If you do, I have to turn you into the school, and there are consequences, all right? If you have need any kinds of accommodations for students with any kind of learning disability or anything, please let me know. I try to make the course as available to everyone as possible, but I always am looking for ways to improve. And then we will talk about kind of your point breakdown and the organization of the course shell in the next video. So click